Have you ever had that feeling? That chilling sensation that the person standing next to you isn't quite right? In Japan, a land where spirits and humans often cross paths, there's a legend that gives this feeling a name, and a face, or rather, a lack of one. They call this spirit the Noparabi, the faceless ghost. Let's delve into one of its most famous tales. Picture this. It's a quiet night on the outskirts of old Tokyo. A man is walking home, his path lit only by the slivers of moonlight filtering through the dense forest. It's late, and the world is asleep. As he walks along a path near a small, babbling stream, he spots a figure ahead. It's a woman, her back to him, standing perfectly still by the water's edge. Her shoulders are trembling, and he can hear the faint sound of soft, heartbroken sobs. Concerned, he quickens his pace. "Excuse me," he says gently, not wanting to startle her. "Are you all right? Is there anything I can do to help?" He places a comforting hand on her shoulder. The crying stops instantly. Slowly, she turns her head to face him. And in that moment, the man's world shatters. Her face is a smooth, blank canvas of skin. No eyes, no nose, no mouth. Just an unnerving, featureless void where a human face should be. He screams, scrambling backwards, tripping over his own feet. He doesn't look back. He just runs. He runs faster than he's ever run in his life. Pure, primal terror propelling him forward. He doesn't stop until the warm, inviting lights of a small soba noodle stand appear through the trees. A bursts in gasping for air, his heart pounding against his ribs like a trapped bird. The owner, a kindly old man, looks up from his noodles. "What's wrong, son? You look like you've seen a ghost." The man collapses onto a stool, shaking, and through ragged breaths, he recounts the horrifying encounter by the stream. The featureless woman, the chilling silence. The owner listens patiently, a calm expression on his face. When the story is finished, he strokes his chin thoughtfully. "Ah," he says, "so you saw an Oparabi?" The man stares, confused. The owner continues, "It was probably just trying to scare you. They're harmless." "Really?" A wave of relief washes over the man. It was just a spirit, a known prankster. He feels a little foolish for his panic. He manages a weak laugh. "An Oparabi. You say," he repeats, his breathing finally returning to normal. He feels a bit silly for being so scared. "You have no idea," he says, wiping sweat from his brow. Her face was just ... like this. And as he says it, he gestures toward his own face, wiping his hand across it to demonstrate the smoothness. But as the noodle stand owner leans in closer and says, "Oh, you mean ... like this." The man looks up, and his blood runs cold. The owner's face is gone. It's the same smooth, horrifyingly blank expanse of skin. Two faceless ghosts in one night. That's the cruel trick of the Noparabi. They don't just scare you once. They lull you into a false sense of security, appearing as a friend, a stranger, someone you trust, only to reveal their true nature when you least expect it, doubling the terror. The Noparabi is one of Japan's most fascinating and unsettling yokai. They aren't malicious in the way other demons are. They don't seek to physically harm their victims. Their entire purpose, it seems, is to cause psychological distress and pure, unadulterated fear. They thrive on the shock and horror of that final reveal. They are masters of disguise, often taking the form of someone the victim knows, even a family member, making the betrayal of the senses even more profound. Legends say they often appear in lonely places, dark country roads, quiet parks, or near bodies of water, like rivers and wells. But what's truly terrifying is their modern evolution. Stories now place them in bustling urban environments. Imagine being in a crowded public restroom, washing your hands. You glance up at your reflection in the mirror, and the person standing behind you, who you thought was just waiting their turn, has no face. Or you're on the last train home, staring out the window. As the train pulls into a station, you see your reflection overlaid on the dark platform. But the face looking back at you isn't yours. It's empty. Where do they come from? Folklore offers a few theories. Some say they are mischievous kitsune, or fox spirits, using their shape-shifting abilities to play cruel pranks on humans. Others suggest they are the ghosts of people who are vain or deceitful in life, condemned to an eternity without an identity. Their blank faces serve as a punishment, reflecting the emptiness of their own souls. This idea taps into a deep human fear, the loss of identity, of where what are we, without a face to show the world. Witnesses who've encountered an Operabi describe a strange, localized cold spot in the air, a sudden drop in temperature that has no natural cause. They also report hearing faint sounds, like breathing or whispering, emanating from the spirit, despite it having no mouth. It's said that if you stare at an Operabi for too long, you might feel a strange numbness creep across your own face, a tingling sensation as if your own features are being erased, absorbed by the void. Even today, in a world of technology and skepticism, the legend persists. There are alleged security camera footages that show figures with inexplicably blurred or missing faces. People share stories online about encounters in subway stations, office buildings, and lonely parking garages. Is it a trick of the light? A glitch in the camera? Or is the Operabi still walking among us, wearing our faces until it decides to show us its own? So, if you find yourself walking alone at night, whether in the ancient forests of Japan or the concrete canyons of your own city, be wary of strangers. If someone seems distressed, maybe think twice before offering help. Don't stare too intently, because if they turn to you, and you see that smooth, featureless face, it's a sight you will carry with you forever. That image will be burned into your memory. And who knows, the next time you look in the mirror, you might just find your own reflection starting to fade. Thank you so much for joining me on this dive into Japanese folklore. If you enjoyed this unsettling tale, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the shadows. Stay safe out there and check the faces of those around you. You never know. Have you ever walked down a familiar street at night, only to feel a sudden, unexplainable chill? A feeling that you're being watched, or that the path ahead isn't quite the same one you walked this morning. In Japan, there's a name for that feeling. They call it asterisk machi. Dashke do no kedas, the corners of the city. These aren't grand, haunted castles or ancient, cursed forests. They're the ordinary, overlooked spaces in our urban lives. That narrow alley behind the convenience store, the one you use as a shortcut. The quiet intersection where the traffic lights seem to blink just a little too slowly after midnight. Or that forgotten stairwell squeezed between two buildings, covered in dust and shadows. They look mundane, but they are anything but. Japanese urban legends whisper that these corners are fractures, thin spots in the fabric of our reality. They're gateways, too, somewhere else. Step into one, and the world you know begins to unravel. The city sounds you'd take for a come from the distant traffic. The hum of electricity is start to fade. The air grows thick and heavy, pressing in on you. Your own footsteps echo in a way that's unnatural, lasting a moment too long. And out of the corner of your eye, you'll see them. Shadows that move with a life of their own, detaching from the objects that cast them. That's when you know you've crossed a line. You've stepped into one of the corners. The stories are everywhere, shared in hushed tones over drinks in smoky izakayas, or on late-night internet forums. They speak of a salaryman in Osaka, exhausted after a long day. He decided to take a shortcut through a dimly lit alley he'd passed 100 times before. He turned the corner and was never seen again. All his colleagues found was his phone, dropped on the grimy pavement. It was still recording. On the audio, beneath the static, you could just make out a faint, sibilante whisper you shouldn't have done, dear. The man was gone, swallowed by the corner. These corners, they say, are feeding grounds for the asterisk cure, the restless spirits that drift through Japan's sprawling metropolises. But they're not just home to the old ghosts. Every night, the city builds new ones. Think about it. Millions of people, a sea of hopes, regrets, and anxieties, all packed into one place. That energy has to go somewhere. It pools in these forgotten spaces, giving them a strange, hungry power. There's another story, one about a young woman working late in Shibuya, the heart of Tokyo's relentless energy. Every night, she walked home, crossing the same intersection. It was always empty at that hour. A brief moment of peace in a city that never sleeps. But one night, something was different. The traffic lights weren't just changing, they were blinking erratically, out of sync, as if the city's pulse was failing. She felt a prickle of unease, but crossed anyway. When she reached the other side, she glanced back, and she saw her. Standing right where she had been just seconds before was another version of herself. Identical in every way, except for the eyes. They were dark, hollow voids. The figure just stood there, staring. A silent, terrifying reflection. The woman ran and never looked back. She quit her job the next day and moved out of Tokyo, forever haunted by the face that was hers. But not. The legends say these corners have a consciousness. They choose you. They only appear when you're alone, vulnerable, lost in your thoughts, when the city itself seems to hold its breath. The signs are subtle at first. A sudden drop in temperature on a warm night. The sound of a voice whispering your name right behind you. But when you turn, there's no one there. A flicker of light from an abandoned building where there's no electricity. That's the corner's invitation. Your only warning. If you ignore it, if you let curiosity or haste guide your feet, you step into its trap. The first thing you lose is your sense of direction. The alley that should have led back to the main street now twists into another, unfamiliar alley. The street signs, which were in Japanese and English a moment ago, now display a script. The neon glow of the city, your beacon in the dark, fades away, leaving you in a silent, oppressive gloom. You're no longer in your world. You're in theirs. A few are said to have found their way back. They stumble out of the corner, disoriented and panicked, finding themselves back on a familiar street. But the relief is short-lived, because everything is the same, yet wrong. It's like looking at a photograph that's been subtly altered. A skyscraper that was on your left is now on your right. The faces of passers-by seem to blur at the edges, their features indistinct. And the most terrifying part, when they try to go home, their apartment building isn't there. Their key doesn't fit any lock. They've returned to a city that looks like theirs, but no longer recognizes them. They've become ghosts in their own lives. This isn't just folklore for the superstitious. Ask any seasoned taxi driver in Tokyo. Many will refuse to take shortcuts through the winding back streets after 2 a.m. They'll tell you that's when the corners wake up. Their GPS will glitch, the screen showing their car in the middle of a park or a river. The radio will fill with static, punctuated by strange whispers that seem to come from the back seat, even when it's empty. They'd rather take the long way around than risk a wrong turn. The old men who have seen the city change over decades. They put it best. Sipping their sake, they'll look at you with knowing eyes and say, every city in the world has its ghosts. But in Japan, our cities build new ones every single night. These modern legends aren't born from ancient curses, but from the very concrete and steel that make up our world. From the loneliness and anonymity of modern urban life. So, a word of advice. If you ever find yourself wandering the incredible streets of Japan late at night, bathed in the beautiful, lonely glow of vending machines and neon signs, be mindful of your path. If you come across a corner you swear wasn't there before, an opening that feels strangely quiet and dark, resist the urge to explore. Don't take the shortcut. Keep to the main road. Stay in the light. Because once you step around that corner, once you enter the asterisk machi-kei dono, Caden asterisk, you might just find that the path back to your world has vanished forever. Thanks for joining me in the shadows tonight. If you enjoyed this journey into the corners of the city, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next story. Stay safe and stay aware. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're journeying into the heart of Japanese folklore, a place where spirits linger long after death, and where something as ordinary as hair can carry a terrifying curse. This is the legend of Kurokami, or as it's more chillingly known, long black hair. The story begins with a young woman in ancient Japan. She was renowned for her beauty, particularly her stunning, lustrous black hair. But her beauty was matched only by her pride. She was cold and dismissive, scorning the affections of suitors and looking down upon those she deemed beneath her. Her heart was a fortress, and in her self-imposed isolation, she found not power, but despair. One lonely night, she passed away, her heart heavy with regret and bitterness. But her story didn't end there. In death, her resentment festered, and it found a new, terrifying life in the one thing she cherished most. Her hair, it refused to rest. Even after her body was laid to rest, her hair continued to grow, lengthening day by day, month by month, becoming a physical manifestation of her undying rage. Her spirit, now tethered to these ever-growing locks, began to haunt those who had wronged her, those who reminded her of her own prideful folly. The victims of the Kurakami curse tell tales that'll make your skin crawl. Imagine waking up in the morning to find your pillow saturated, not with sweat, but wheat, long black strands of hair that aren't your own. You check your bathroom, and the brand new bottle of shampoo you just bought is completely empty, as if used to wash an impossible amount of hair overnight. The signs are subtle at first. A single, long black hair found on a doorknob. A small clump in the back of a closet. A few strands coiled in the corner of your room, where there were none before. But these subtle signs are just the beginning. Witnesses claim the hair has a life of its own. They speak of watching it creep under closed doors like a silent, black serpent. They feel it wrap around their ankles in the dark. A cold, smooth touch that paralyzes them with fear. Some have sworn they've seen it sliding across the floorboards, moving with an unnatural, deliberate purpose. This isn't just hair, it's a predator, an extension of a vengeful spirit. And this spirit, the woman of the long black hair, is patient. She waits, watching from the shadows, seeking out those who mirror her own past sins. The prideful, the cruel, and the careless. When she finally chooses to reveal herself, she might appear as an ordinary, beautiful woman. You might not even notice her at first. But then you'll see her hair, a flowing, endless river of blackness, darker than a moonless midnight. She'll whisper your name, a soft, inviting sound that draws you closer. And just when you're caught in her gaze, she strikes. It's not a blade or a blow that ends you. It's her hair. It erupts, a living torrent, wrapping around your neck, your limbs, your body. It pulls you down, silencing your screams, dragging you into an eternal darkness from which there is no return. They say that once her cursed strands touch your skin, your fate is sealed. This legend is so deeply ingrained in Japanese culture that parents have used it for generations. To warn their children, never leave your hair loose when you sleep, they'd say. It might invite spirits. Never speak carelessly or insult someone you love. They'd caution, you don't know what grudges you might create. And most importantly, never, ever provoke a woman with long, dark hair. It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of vanity and cruelty. The most terrifying accounts come from those who have narrowly escaped. They describe catching a glimpse of her in a mirror's reflection. Not their own face, but hers. Pale skin, stretched tight over bone. Sunken, hollow eyes filled with an ancient sorrow and rage. And their hair writhing around her face like a nest of black snakes. Those who try to flee often just disappear. The only thing left behind is a small pile of long, black hair, a grim token of their passing. The curse of Kurakami is insidious. It doesn't need a grand ritual to spread. It's parasitic, a single strand left on a bus seat, a forgotten lock of hair in a gifted comb. That's all it takes for the spirit to find its next home, its next victim. It attaches itself to a new host, and the cycle of terror begins anew. The hair begins to appear, the presence grows stronger, and the net tightens. So, a word of advice. If you ever find yourself in Japan, walking down an old wooden hallway or staying in a traditional inn, and you see a stray lock of black hair on the floor, leave it be. If you're lying in bed at night and you hear a faint, slithering sound, like silk being dragged across the tatami mats, do not get up to investigate. Do not touch it. Do not acknowledge it, because at the moment the spirit of the long black hair realizes you've been noticed it, Its attention will fixate on you. It will follow you. Across oceans, across continents, it will follow you home. And with every passing day, as its hair grows longer and longer, the shadow of death will grow ever closer to your door. Thanks for joining me on this chilling journey into Japanese folklore. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next dive into the darkness. Stay safe, and see you next time. Have you ever walked down a quiet street at night, feeling that prickle on the back of your neck, like you're not alone? In Japan, a country of dazzling neon lights and ancient traditions, that feeling has a name, and it's a name whispered in fear. Kuchisako, the slit-mouthed woman. And tonight, we're talking about her terrifying modern update, Kuchisako na Kedua Komano. The original legend is chilling enough. A woman, her face hidden by a surgical mask, approaches a lone traveler. She asks a simple, disarming question. Am I beautiful? Say no, and you meet a swift, brutal end at the blades of her scissors. Say yes, and the real horror begins. She removes her mask, revealing a grotesque smile carved from ear to ear. How about now? She asks. There is no right answer. Any hesitation, any cry of fear, and she makes your face match hers. For decades, this story has been a campfire staple. A cautionary tale to keep children from wandering off after dark. But legends, like technology, evolved. The Kuchisakona of today is no longer confined to lonely back alleys and deserted footbridges. This is Kuchisekona 2.0. She's faster, more relentless, and has adapted to our hyper-connected world. She's not just on the streets. She's in your screens. Imagine you're home alone, scrolling through your phone. You switch to the front-facing camera to fix your hair, and for a split second, a figure flickers in the reflection behind you. A tall woman, long black hair, wearing that unmistakable mask. You spin around. Nothing. You brush it off as a trick of the light. But the seed of fear is planted. Later, you're on a video call with a friend. The connection glitches, the screen freezes, and in the pixelated image of your own room, you see her again, standing just a little closer this time. That's her new hunting ground. Reflections, video calls, security camera feeds, any digital or mirrored surface. She transcends the physical world. She doesn't need to physically walk up to you anymore. If she can see you, she can get to you. The question still comes, but now it might be a distorted whisper through your laptop speakers, or a text message from an unknown number. Am I beautiful? The targets remain the same. Those who are alone, teenagers, walking home with headphones on, oblivious to the world. Office workers taking a late-night shortcut. Anyone isolated and vulnerable. She is the ultimate predator of the modern age, using our own technology, our own narcissism, against us. She materializes from the very devices we use to feel connected, turning them into portals of dread. Accounts from Japan speak of this new, terrifying presence. A high school student in Tokyo claimed to be stalked for weeks. It started with seeing her in the reflection of a train window. Then, in the darkened screen of his tablet, he started covering every reflective surface in his apartment, but he forgot about the small, black mirror of his phone. One night, it lit up on its own. A single, unread message was on the screen. He never told anyone what it said. He was found the next morning, his room untouched, except for a pair of bloody scissors lying on his pillow. So, what can you do? The old tricks might not work. In the original legend, you could confuse her by answering ambiguously, like saying you're average, or distract her by throwing hard candy or money, giving you a precious few seconds to escape. But how do you throw candy at a digital ghost? How do you confuse a presence that exists in the code and reflections of your world? This modern version is born from the same tragedy. The story goes that she was a woman of incredible beauty, but her vanity led to infidelity. In a fit of jealous rage, her samurai husband took a blade and sliced her mouth, screaming, "Who will think you're beautiful now?" Her vengeful spirit, her Onru, is now trapped, forever seeking validation and punishing anyone who reminds her of her lost beauty. This pain, this rage, has now been amplified, digitized, and unleashed on a global scale. She is the embodiment of a modern anxiety, the fear of being watched, of our privacy being invaded not just by corporations or governments, but by something ancient and malevolent. She is the glitch in the system, the ghost in the machine, a reminder that no matter how advanced we become, some fears are timeless. The fear of the dark, the fear of the unknown, and the fear of a woman with a ruined face asking you a question you can possibly answer correctly. So, the next time you're walking home and you catch a glimpse of movement in a shop window, look away. When your video call freezes and a strange shape forms in the background, end the call. If you get a text from an unknown number asking that one simple, terrifying question, block the number, turn off your phone, and hope she hasn't already seen your face. Because once Kuchisakona 2.0 has you in her sights, there is no escape. She will follow you through the streets, through reflections, and through your screens, until she gets an answer. And your scream will just be another silent notification, lost in the digital noise. Thanks so much for diving into this modern nightmare with me. If you enjoyed this story and want more tales of urban legends and modern horror, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments which urban legend you want to see get a 2.0 update next. Stay safe out there, and be careful what you look at it. I don't know if anyone will ever see this, if my voice will ever reach beyond these walls. I'm recording this on my phone. The battery is almost gone. Last night, I took a train home. It was late, just like any other night. The kind of tired commute you do on autopilot. The carriage was mostly empty, just a few other passengers lost in their own worlds. The rhythmic clatter of the wheels, a familiar lullaby. The station where I boarded was quiet, but it was a normal kind of quiet. The quiet of a city winding down. This was different. After a while, I noticed the silence had deepened. It was absolute, heavy, pressing in from all sides. I looked up. The other passengers were gone. I was completely alone in the carriage. That's when the first real spike of fear hit me. Where did they go? Did I fall asleep? I pressed my face against the cold glass, trying to see something familiar in the darkness rushing by. Trees, houses, streetlights, anything. But there was nothing. Just an endless, inky blackness, as if the train was traveling through a void. Then, the automated announcement crackled to life, but the voice was distorted, robotic, and unfamiliar. Next stop, Kisaragi Station. Kisaragi. I'd never heard of it. I pulled out my phone, frantically, scrolling through the transit map. It wasn't there. I checked online maps. Nothing. Not a single search result for a Kisaragi station on this line. Or any line, for that matter. A cold dread began to bloom in my chest. The train slowed, its brakes hissing in the oppressive silence. Through the window, a platform materialized out of the gloom. The station was old, weathered, the kind of place that time had forgotten. The name Kisaragi Station was written on a faded wooden sign in characters I barely recognized. The lights on the platform flickered intermittently, casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to writhe and twist. The entire place felt wrong, steeped in an unnatural stillness. The train door slid open with a soft sigh, an invitation into the unknown. I hesitated. Every instinct screamed at me to stay put, to ride this phantom train to wherever it was going. But the thought of being trapped alone in this moving box, hurtling through nothingness, was even more terrifying. Maybe there would be a station agent, a phone, a way to figure out where I was. Taking a shaky breath, I stepped off the train and onto the platform. It was the biggest mistake of my life. The moment my feet touched the concrete, the train doors slid shut behind me. With a lurch, it began to pull away, its red taillights shrinking into the darkness until they vanished completely, leaving me stranded in the flickering, uncertain light. The silence that descended was profound, a physical weight. There were no crickets, no distant traffic, no wind, nothing. Just the hum of the failing lights. My phone, I realized with a fresh wave of panic, had no signal, no service. The 2 words felt like a death sentence. The station was deserted. No staff, no other passengers, no signs of life. I called out, "Hello? Is anyone here?" My voice sounded small and thin, swallowed by the vast emptiness. Only the echo answered, bouncing off the peeling paint and rusty ironwork. I tried to find an exit. The main gate was locked tight, a heavy, ancient-looking thing that wouldn't budge. I rattled it, shouting for help, but the sound was absorbed by the suffocating quiet. I started to explore, my footsteps echoing unnervingly in the hollow space. The station seemed to be a maze. Corridors twisted and turned in ways that defied logic. I'd walk down a long hallway, turn a corner and find myself back where I started. Every door I tried was locked. Every staircase seemed to lead to another identical, empty platform. It was a labyrinth of steel and shadow, designed to confuse and trap. That's when I first saw them. At the far end of a long corridor, just at the edge of my vision, I saw a figure. It was tall and unnaturally thin, draped in what looked like dark rags. It was perfectly still. I froze, my heart hammering against my ribs. I blinked, and it was gone. I told myself it was a trick of the light, a product of my fear. But then I saw another one, peeking from behind a pillar, its form indistinct and shadowy. They never moved when I looked directly at them, but I could feel their presence, a cold, malevolent attention. I could feel them watching. Pure, primal fear took over. I ran. I didn't know where I was going, just away. My frantic footsteps were the only sound, a frantic drumbeat against the silence. I threw open a door and found myself not in an office, but in another long, dark corridor. I was going in circles at Ratinakahe. The layout was changing. I was sure of it. Walls where there had been openings, doors where there had been solid walls. The station was playing with me, exhausted and terrified. I collapsed onto a lone wooden bench. I tried to calm my breathing, to think. There had to be a way out. I tried my phone again. Still no signal. I tried the emergency call function. Failed. I was utterly cut off. A distant sound pricked my ears. A train whistle. Hope surged through me, so powerful it almost made me sick. A train. It was coming. I jumped up and ran to the edge of the platform, straining my eyes in the darkness. I could hear it getting closer, the familiar rumble of wheels on track, but it never arrived. The sound faded away, leaving me in silence once more. It was a cruel trick, a phantom sound to taunt me. Time began to lose all meaning. The flickering lights never changed. The sky outside, visible through the high, grimy windows, was a perpetual, starless twilight. Has it been minutes? Hours? Days? I have no way of knowing. My phone's clock is frozen. Time itself seems to be broken here. I think I understand now. No one ever leaves Kisaragi Station. The trains you hear are ghosts, memories of a world that no longer includes you. The figures, they're getting bolder, closer. Sometimes I see them move out of the corner of my eye. A swift, unnatural scuttling motion that makes my skin crawl. They are the other residents, the other lost souls, or perhaps the station's keepers. I haven't slept. I'm afraid that if I close my eyes, I'll open them to find one of them standing right over me. The world outside this place feels like a dream. I'm slowly forgetting the faces of my family, the feeling of sunlight, the taste of real food. It's all fading, replaced by the damp chill and the smell of rust and decay. My existence has been reduced to this endless, shifting station and the silent figures that haunt its shadows. I'm recording this in the desperate, foolish hope that it might somehow be found. A warning in a bottle, cast out from a place that doesn't exist. So please, if you're ever on a train late at night and it stops at a station you don't recognize, a station that isn't on any map, do not get off. No matter how curious you are, no matter how much you want to get your bearings. Stay on the train, keep the doors closed. Because once you step onto the platform of Kisaragi Station, you might never return. You just become another echo in the silence, another shadow in the corner of someone else's eye. Don't make the same mistake I did. My battery is dying. I think they know they're getting closer.